So the NBA have one of the potential future great rivalries on their doorstep, and do you want to know what they're choosing to do? Ignore it. They are literally saying, you know what? It's gonna be okay. Let's just keep talking about LeBron and Michael Jordan. Let's just keep showing clips from 40 years ago instead of talking about basketball. Thankfully, today they put on national TV the battle between the two teams that are on track to win 70 games. And you better believe, like, if the Oklahoma City Thunder beat the Cavs tonight, they could win 70 games and not have Chet Holmgren. Without Chet Holmgren. Like, the whatever the Cavs, I think the Cavs are just on a hot streak. But it's the first time ever that two teams facing off against each other with 10-plus game winning streaks. It's mental. Both of these teams. Absolutely superb. And thankfully they're showing it. But let's be real. Let's be real. The rivalry between these two, this is the next great rivalry. This is the great rivalry. This is the current best player in the world versus the guy who realistically has the best chance to take over him. And I will say, yes, you can argue Giannis is the best player in the world. Like, let's not get into that debate. But, like, most people will say, yeah, it's Jokic. Heck, the Denver Nuggets, you could argue with a worse supporting cast, have a better record than the Milwaukee Bucks. But it is close enough that I think it's fair enough. But, like, these two teams they played against each other in back-to-back games, and they were both unbelievable. They were both ridiculously good games. And the NBA, what did the NBA do? Yeah, let's just ignore them so that we can talk more about LeBron James. So we can talk more about, we can talk more about these other players. But, like, they played against each other, and one was an overtime game. The other was a 3-point win for San Antonio, each team splitting them. The first game the first game here, Wemby outduels Jokic. Victor Wembanyama had 35 points, 2 blocks, and 18 boards. He had 35 and 18 and was plus 17 in a 3-point win. Not only that, it's a 1-point game. I just want to see, you can only get field goal attempts. I want to see if I can get blocks for Victor Wembanyama. Can I get one of his 2 blocks in what ended up being a crazy play? Okay, cool. The NBA are doing this now. So, block number 2 is, if you guys want to watch what happens here. This is 99-97. 5 minutes to go in the fourth. He gets it off Jokic. Wait, did he not block him at the very end of the game? I could have swore he blocked him at the end of the game. I could have swore he blocked Jokic at the end of that game. Either way, they still went and won. Devin Vassell kind of stepping up, but like nobody else on the team had more than 18. And Victor Wembanyama had 35. While Jokic, by the way, had 41, 18, and 9 assists in a loss. 41, 18, and 9 assists. And Wemby held him to 41% shooting, though. But that's what Jokic had to freaking do in this game. So both of these guys were unbelievable. And then they played off against each other again, where Jokic had 46 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds. And Wembanyama had 23 rebounds. He had 20 points, 23 rebounds, and 4 blocks. I repeat, even though he didn't shoot the ball the greatest, he still had 23 rebounds and 4 blocks in a game that ended up in overtime. This is the rivalry everyone should be talking about. It should be, like, this should be the hyped rivalry. Thankfully, you've got some articles talking about, you know what, Victor Wembanyama's closer than you think to overtaking Jokic as the NBA's best big man, the NBA's best player. Let's be real. The NBA's best player. Has Wembanyama closed the gap? There's no doubt Wembanyama's hot in the trail, best big man in the league, best player in the league. Let's be real, the best players in the league are big men. Giannis, when Embiid was healthy, Nikola Jokic. Best players in the league are big men. Individual players anyway. But like, we've got to just stop ignoring what should be one of the more positive things in the NBA right now. The rivalry between these two players should be something that's hyped. The biggest issue is, the big problem is you've got a French man and a Serbian. Like, It's all the, oh, you can never have the face of the NBA needs to be American. Why? Why? The best, like, just let the best players be the face of the NBA. Just let the best players do it. Because there sure as hell is no American player good enough. Cooper Flag, yeah, he's not going to be good enough. Maybe, like, Dylan Harper's not going to be good enough. Maybe AJ Dibansta. Maybe Dibansta will be that guy. Because the way people are talking about Dibansta, maybe he could be that guy, but it's not going to be Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag is going to be a real good player, but he's going to be like a third option. A damn good third option because he has no real flaws in his game. But he's not going to be this, like, absolute superstar player that people think, especially early. Especially early, like, he'll be a really good player, but he's not going to be this, like, out and out super duper star 25 point per game scorer, like people think. The reality is, though, is that you've got Jokic, who is putting up one of the craziest stat lines we've ever seen in the NBA this season. Like, this is the best Jokic has ever played, and he's a 3-time MVP. And then you've got a guy who realistically is going to have a season sometime in his career where he is 50, 40, 90 while averaging 30 points a game. I don't think anyone's ever done that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think anyone has ever had a 30 point per game season on 50, 40, 90 shooting. Oh yeah, and he's also the best defensive player in the NBA, and more than likely, even after 2 years, I think it might be okay to say he is one of the 3 best defensive players of all time. Like, in recent memory. There's Dennis Rodman, he's got to be up there. Dikembe's up there. As much as people hate him, Rudy Gobert is up there. Like, everyone talks about, oh, Rudy Gobert is not a good defender. Then why is it that when he goes to a team, they instantly become one of the best defensive teams in the NBA? And then he leaves a team, they instantly become one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA. Gobert is ridiculously good on defense. But he's in that conversation with Gobert, Dikembe, Rodman, Peyton. He's already in the peak for peak greatest defender ever, and he's only going to get better. He's only getting better. And then you've got Nikola Jokic, who is, there has never been a better all-around offensive big man in the history of the sport. He is like if Arvydas Sabonis came over the NBA when his legs worked and was also better. Like, he's better than Sabonis was. And he's also one of the best conditioned big men I think I've seen in a long time. The guy can play 40 a game and give you the same thing in the last minute as he gives you in the first. And outside of like he's not like Luka, where I just think the game comes easier to Luka Doncic than it comes to any other player ever in the history of the sport. I just think the game comes easier to him. Maybe Larry Bird. But other than that, like, you've got 2 of the all-time great. You got an all-time great, and you've got somebody that's on the press, like, looks like he's going to become. Look, barring injury, Wemby's floor is the 20th greatest player of all time. If Wemby can do what he's doing this year for 12 seasons, if he gets no better and he plays 14 seasons and doesn't regress, Wemby will be a top 10 player of all time. But 5 depoys, multiple rings, like, even if he just literally stagnates. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys.